wear really uncomfortable clothing. How do you think they felt?
Like mad and angry. I don't know why man had to wear this, and we had to wear like this big thing.
Good. They're confused. Why do we have to wear this crazy clothes? Britannia.
Like you couldn't dye your hair.
Yeah, they couldn't dye their hair. What if they didn't like their hair color?
Well,
Why shouldn't they be allowed to dye their hair? Do you think they felt mad about that? Britannia?
Yeah, they felt me.
Yeah. Did you have another one, Dick?
I heard that they didn't like your hair. They used to grab like the shaver and shave off your hair, like leaving balls.
I've never heard that, but I believe you.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was it? Oh, hold on. Come on.
I know one, if you got married, you can become a teacher. If you got married, then vote. If you were single, what? Like you were single, you were allowed to vote.
Oh, I heard two really good things. So the first one you said, if you got married, you weren't allowed to teach. So think about if you're a teacher, not like the ones we were just talking about. If you're a teacher who loves teaching, that's why they come to school every day. They're so excited. How do you think they felt if they had to quit their job because they fell in love and got married too?
I think they'll leave their husband for their job.
They're gonna what? Leave their husband?
for their job.
Maybe. Maybe. Depends which one they love more, I guess, right? Aaron.
So they could be in the room with men, right?
They couldn't be in a room with a man. What do you guys think? Were they allowed?
No.
Only if the man was their
Husband.
brother.
Oh.
Or
Daddy.
not cousin.
Dad.
Dad. Yeah. Those were the only ones that they were allowed to be in a room with. How about, were women allowed to go to the ice cream store?
No.
Sorry, Britannia, I stole it. Well, how do you think they felt if all they wanted was an ice cream cone? How do you think they felt if they couldn't go get an ice cream cone?
You think they was able to get their brother to go get it for them?
Yeah.
Maybe, but
What if they
the
didn't
ice
have a
cream
brother?
might melt.
Like a guy walking down the street, can you go give me this?
Right?
Wouldn't they have a curfew?
No.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about today. Back in the day,
Oh.
Yeah, back.
would you guys remember what the hours were?
Do you remember?
It was something to 8.
8
Yes.
till 3.
Wesley, can you say it loud?
We have to be on like 8 to 6.
Yeah, they had to be in their house starting at 6 and going till 8 a.m.
Could you imagine?
What if you wanted to go outside? What if you wanted to go to the ice cream store or go to church? Were you allowed?
No.
No. So, how do you think women were feeling about all of this?
Man.
Mean.
Sad, mad, mean, angry?
Like somebody was just taking over their life.
Yeah. So what is that feeling when someone else is running your life? What's that feeling?
Like angry, like
Anger?
he's your
Suffering.
boss and you ain't nothing to them.
Suffering. Good. Like helplessness, powerlessness. They don't have any control over what they're doing. How about the second one? What did people back in the day say women weren't good enough about?
They weren't good enough to have a job. Well, like, work,
A job except for what?
teaching.
Right. They weren't good enough for any other job.
Only housewives.
Oh, yeah, teacher and housewife. What else did they say women weren't good enough to do?
Take a man's job.
Wesley? Vote. Why did they say women weren't good enough to vote? Yeah, did we have any reasons actually when we did that reading?
No.
Yeah, we didn't hear why. This reading we're doing today, you'll hear why.
Also, they weren't good enough to wear anything women wear now.
Right, and be fired.
Yeah.
Right? No jeans. We weren't good enough for jeans.
You'd be fired.
Anything else they weren't good enough to do?
Smoke or drink.
Good. Yeah, they weren't allowed to do that. They didn't have any power over that. Yeah, that might, maybe it's a good thing. So what we're going to do for the next half hour is we're going to read about some changes that happened in a certain decade in America. And it was the 1920s. So when I say decade, how many years is that?
20.
10.
Oh.
So the 1920s goes from when to when?
1920, 1940.
Not 20 years. 1920
Oh, 19 to 30.
Right. So we're going to read about this decade, and there was a lot of changes going on for women. You're going to read about changes in politics, education, technology, jobs, and fashion. And so that is our first learning target. You can explain how women's role in society changed in the 1920s in all of those ways. So the reading it's kind of higher level, but it's chunked already for each of those subsections. So you are reading this and figuring out what changes happened in politics for women. Okay, anyone? Sorry. Yes. And as you're doing this, there's some questions that go along with it. So, Wesley, Fernando, Bertana, you guys are going to use ones. Gustavo, would you like the questions that don't have multiple choice or the questions that do have multiple choice? The questions Again, would you like the questions that do have multiple choice or don't have multiple choice? Would you like the questions that do have multiple choice or don't have multiple choice? Do have multiple choice? So you can kind of see what the options are. Great. That's what you're going to do. And so these questions right here, politics, these ones all go with politics.
Surprisingly, some women do want the right to vote. And widespread attitude was that women's roles and men's roles do not overlap.
So these questions right here, politics,
That women
up until here, that's all this section. This is the intro. We're just going to move ahead. A woman in 1920 was surprised to know that during the next decade, her role in society would change dramatically. During the next 10 years, significant changes for women took place in politics, the home, the workplace, and in education. This resulted in new laws, new technology, and changing attitudes of women. Now we're into politics. These are these questions. So you're going to look for the first question. What gave women the right to vote? The 12th Amendment or the 19th Amendment? The most important change was political. When passed in 1920, the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. Surprisingly, some women didn't want the right to vote. A widespread attitude is that women's roles and men's roles should not overlap. These separate worlds held that women should concern themselves with home, children, and religion, while men took care of business and politics. Opponents of women's suffrage or voting treated such things as feminists are not just getting better, and being able to vote would take them out of their proper role in the politics. Yes. Can you summarize that? What caused home is first changes. Okay.
No, back in those days, like, you know how some people
now, that's why this might not happen.
yeah, because my uncle has
That law after 1920 gave women the right to vote. And now we're looking for why did some women not want the right to vote?
that women were allowed to vote now, but
They
they
didn't want
have
women to vote the government. Or B, they
nah,
found women to vote within the program, not politics.
they have the opportunity.
What were the people that are?
And women should.
Why do I
Well,
want
women-
such a call that women more emphasis on taking care of social improvement, such as protective?
What made them?
Oh, they should.
We didn't read that.
It's in the first paragraph.
The 19th Amendment, did the 19th Amendment, those changes for new and for 19th Amendment gave women the
By
right
the
to
end of the
vote.
decade, many would not believe that it is their right and duty to live their self-help.
Some women they wanted the
They recognize too
Okay.
that the practices protected their daily lives. The 19th Amendment, women began to be represented at local, state, and national, and the right to vote, or did not enter into this law.
I thought you said
More
I
emphasis began to be put on social rights, such as protective laws for child labor. So what gave women's right to vote? Women active in politics in 1929 still had little tie in, but they had begun the journey to actual political cause. Okay.
Well, you should get the first answer.
Before you get to education, let's go back to politics.
what was